Labas, good morning. Yeah, unfortunately I don't speak Latvian, but I speak Finnish and Estonian and English also. Finnish and Estonia are similar. One reason why I start to play guitar is music by Frédéric Chopin. And the more important reason, I arranged when I was young Chopin valses for guitar and played. And of course the other reason is the most important canon in nowadays for guitar. It's music by Johann Sebastian Bach. Not only lute works, but also violin sonatas, partitas, cello suites, and now partitas for cembalo. Many guitarists play. Tilman Hofstock, Gerhard Reichenbach play cembalo music, which is extremely complicated, more complicated than Bach's lute works. And also we now lutists who play organ works like Edin Karamazov play D minor, this toccata and prelude and toccata. You can check in internet. And no final exams in high schools all over the world: Australia, USA, Brasilia, Estonia, Latvia. Then we don't have in program one partita or suite from Johann Sebastian Bach. And Bach was my favorite, started from 1975 when I had first concert. I played Prelude 999, this in first concert, and I remember that it was most complicated piece in that concert. The water just covered my mouth at that concert. And when I start to teach in the Estonian Academy of Music, also many years ago, 30 years ago or more, and then also our students, our guitar students are part of string department. It's like mostly in every conservatory, but or academy. But interesting is that in Sibelius Academy, guitar is in soloist big department, but exams are together with pianists, so with piano, and it's as I talk and as I have been in Sibelius Academy in exams, it's quite interesting competition between pianists and guitarists when pianists play Schumann sonata or Schubert sonata, guitarists play Fernando Sor or Giuliani sonata for guitar. It just mentioned that. Then I started to collect many years ago all material which is from lute works, is written articles, dissertations from lute works by Johann Sebastian Bach, and we can say that at moment we know that we have in our repertoire, in guitarist's repertoire, only seven works, which is, have you seen, two suites, partita, two partitas, prelude, fugue, allegro, and small and fugue, which is versions also for violin and for organ. So, but in historically, there is a historical information in museums. Also, that in Leipzig, 1761, somebody. By the way, I will leave this PowerPoint material for you here, for somewhere.
That's
for everybody. Yeah, so you don't. Yeah, you so don't write like in old time every information. And that was interesting that in this 1761 in Leipzig, somebody sell the scores or notes from Johann Sebastian Bach, and there is written on the list of this selling list of scores or notes or music Bach, third partita, a Lute solo, raccolta 1. Yeah, it's one more partita for lute existed 1761 as is on the list of this notes was this partita, but still nobody can find in museums or archives that like music. Then this Bach lute works are many dissertations, and mostly in Europe and in USA universities researches. And one of the most important is James Bogler, 1982, James Bogler, Berlin, B. And also Per Ketil Farstad, which is Norwegian Farstad with F, Frankfurt. Per Ketil Farstad made really big dissertations, that's like book. And when he analyzed the lute music written in Germany in end of 17th century and beginning of 18th century till 1750. This first dissertation we have in you can buy in Göteborg University. I don't know, maybe not anymore, because it was released 2000, so 23 years ago. We get that book to our academic libraries. If you are in Tallinn, you can go library and read that book. Yeah, and also here in that hall are two guitarists and guitar teachers, Katrina and Nikita, who studied in our academy. So nice to see you once again after many years. So that's such like historical aspects and some dissertations, which is you can it's printed, or you can find maybe in internet in this Bogler dissertation. And also important is that our days are lute technique, lute playing technique is more clear than we said 100 years ago, how lute is played. And thank you for that great lute players in the world, like Hopkinson Schmidt. You can just write that name, Hopkinson Schmidt, and Paul Odette, and a third one is Lindberg, Jakob Lindberg, Swedish. Now, Jakob Lindberg and Hopkinson Schmidt, they are quite how many played lute 40, 50 years. And I saw this master class, for example, Hopkins Sean Smith. Now, from memory, every John Doland lute piece, and can say where the mistakes, where misprints, and it's fantastic lute code. But thematic, how to play lute music, not only Johann Sebastian Bach, but also lutists Silvius Leopold Weiss. He lived in the same time like Johann Sebastian Bach, and they met also once and made competition. Silvius Leopold Weiss on lute and Johann Sebastian on cembalo, how to improvise and how to play fugues, to improvise fugues. It was meeting somewhere, if I remember right, 1739 or somewhere. Myself, I'm really looking at that team over more than 25 years, very deeply, and for luck it was possible to make a recording company, Finnish recording company, Alba Records, that complete Bach Lutworks CD. Maybe I can give it here for somebody and you can check. And also you can buy from Alba Records distribution somewhere in 10 countries, but also in Spotify. Yeah, you can take and look at for everybody who have been yesterday in master classes. Maybe better than this Alba Records. It took me, before recording, I think 3 summers. So every summer I took free time, maybe 2.5 months. So I analyzed that music and looked at the different editions, what is possible just to get, to buy, and compare these editions, and made also fingering. And it took only 3 summers to prepare, not only summers, but also 3 years to prepare recording to Alba Records. It's quite serious studio work. Now let's go a little bit to history and looking at this really golden age of lute, Baroque lute, I mean. Yeah, was in second half of 17th century in France. There's Cotier and some other lute players in French lute players who influenced a lot also lute culture in Germany. And 18th century first half, the lute culture is a golden period of lute culture in Germany. And such lutists like Adam Walkenhagen, or Johann Christian Weyrauch, that names, that can be also text and with these names. And of course Silvius Leopold Weiss. These 3 names are quite important because Walkenhagen and Weyrauch contacted with Johann Sebastian Bach. And for example, Walkenhagen's wife and Johann Sebastian wife, they are singing in one choir, so 2 sopranos. They are really friends. That fact. And I mentioned also that Silvius Leopold Weiss, who contact with Johann Sebastian Weiss, they met. And it's interesting that one of these partitas, what for violin and cembalo, based on material of Silvius Leopold Weiss. So Lute suite of Silvius Leopold Weiss, just Bach took that material and composed the violin score there, and it's like mix from music and Johann Sebastian Weiss, and many players, also my colleague Kirill Ogorodnikov, who teach in Sibelius, in Estonian Academy of Music, they made arrangement to play violin voice with guitar and cembalo voice, no, with cembalo or with accordion. It's quite interesting material. And I should mention that if Johann Sebastian composed in Baroque style, Italian Baroque style or French Baroque style, or this mix, which we call more German style, influenced from French and Italian style, then Silvius Leopold Weiss composed the music mostly in galant style, which came after or together with Baroque time, and the music was really another character and politer and more quiet. And many players at that time in Austria, mostly Karl Kohaut and other Laufensteiner, they also used galant style, and also Bach sons start to compose not in any more old Baroque style, but mostly in galant style. And also marginal fact is that Silvius Leopold Weiss' brother and sister also lutist. It was lutist family, and brother Johann Sigismund, you can write that name because we don't have information. Johann Sigismund Weiss composed concerto, or mostly music, but most popular is concerto D minor for lute and orchestra, which is arranged for lute and piano can play, or lute and organ. I played many years also with organ concertos, somewhere 5-6 years. It's a very good combination, guitar and organ nowadays, because we have amplifiers, and also we had a concert here in the Riga Dome, where we played guitar and organ, just program, and just this Johann Sigismund Weiss concerto. Back to Bach, it's interesting that some Bach students also played lute. For example, Maximilian Nagel, or Max Nagel, also played lute. Then Johann Ludwig Krebs, lutist, and Rudolf Straube, you can listen. And Bach gave, I think, to Johann Ludwig Krebs and for students diploma that my students can, they studied music, they can compose, they can play cembalo, they can play organ, and they can play lute. So, because lute was really at that time so popular that even Bach had in instrumentarium 2 lutes at that time. and some other instrument which we talk later. And we don't know have Bach played lute or not. It's mystical, but because all this Bach lute works is written in notes in two clefs, soprano or alto clef and basso clef. Let's go now this and looking these 7 lute works. What is autographs and copies and tablature. 3 of autographs has matched here are in museums or in archives in Tokyo and Brussels. In 995, for example, you can find in Brussels Library archives, and the partita to 1006A you can find in Tokyo. So somebody go to Japan, please visit the library and ask the autograph of Johann Sebastian Bach. And then 996 is a manuscript of Bach relative Johann Gottfried Walther manuscript, and also some other copies by Heinrich Kreber, which discovered as late as 1984. So 100 years, everybody thought that it's lost, but this manuscript, just we joke, manuscript, it discovered so late somewhere. Like also Franz Schubert guitar quartet for flute, viola, cello, and guitar discovered 1910 or somewhere in 1920s. Nobody knows that material before. And then Partita 997. There is many manuscripts of Bach students, Agricola and Greenberg copies. And if I are looking the analyzing of that or dissertations, so, and also in Prim Music, Tilman Hopstock edition, Darmstadt, then also there is always comparing of these manuscripts, 2 manuscripts, Greenberg manuscript and Agricola manuscript, where the differences of that. I would like to mention one important fact that even now in 21st century, in programs, so we can see Bach Lute Suite number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So please don't use that numbering, which was old tradition to match, mostly using this BMW, numbers if you writing programs or it's in nowadays that's tradition. And from this prelude 999, it's only one manuscript, which is Johann Peter Kellneri manuscript. I can give you also this prelude from here. And it is interesting that in bar number, just I missed, 20, one moment, I'm looking, just a moment, 23, yes. 23, there is often in old editions misprint or mistake. there is not mi bass here, but F bass, and that mistake start misprinting of 19th century when first time printed this prelude and like piano piece. And in this piano piece was mistake that in bar number 23 was bass F, but it should be original in this bar 23, the bass mi, yeah. It's just do that to mention. And the last one is important to mention that also there is Lute version from this 995 from Autograph, and also Lute version from Partita 997, and Lute version also from Fugue number 1000. And it's interesting that this 995 Lute version is differences, and there is many in tablature version. There is many ornaments, and just I was very interested not to use in recording Autograph, but just I recorded this Lute version with a lot of ornaments. Later I can give you just my score, and you can see differences there. And then from Partita 997, in tablature version there is only 3 movements. It's prelude, saraband, and giga, and no fugue in tablature version, because the fugue, it's chromatic theme and so, but it's very, very complicated to play with lute or with guitar. It's really extremely complicated. Then let's go to Bach's home and let's look what Bach had at home. As I mentioned, there was 2 lutes by lute maker Johann Christian Hofmann. On this, when after Bach died, they made a list at what kind of instruments Bach had at home. And also interesting instrument which is called lute cembalo or Lautenwerk. And Lautenwerk was instrument where the like lute, just I will show. No, at first we are looking Baroque lute, yes. Yeah, how many strings? Who play lute? No, Katrina play? Something else? No? Yes. But in Latvia, many lutists? No.
I know, maybe 3.
Oh, no, there is. And in Estonia, we have a special subject for guitarist is lute and Baroque guitar. Yeah, the teacher or Robert Stark, who have ensemble Rondellos, and he worked also in Hortus Musicus, old early music ensemble, which played together 50 years with famous violinist and conductor Andres Mustonen. And also in Estonia have 2 guitarone players, and also Robert Stark, our lute teacher, often, I don't know often, but in Riga opera go to play basso continuo. So our lutist will come here to play. And then interesting is that
Man ir mums par latviešu valodu jautājums. Šis cembalo vai Lutenwerke, mums ir latviešu
Yeah, you can say. Yes. It's a lute cembalo. So Bach had. Yes. Yeah.
About Latvian choice of word.
Yeah, it's in Germany Lautenwerk, so everybody, lutist understands that it's Lautenwerk. Yeah. And it's interesting that in some, for example, prelude, fugue, and allegro, there is mentioned Bach, these autographs for lute or cembalo. It's not mentioned for lute. Yeah, but for lute or cembalo. That's meaning that Bach had two that like instruments, and also this 996, yeah, E minor suite, also have a title Preludio con la suite of Lautenwerk. Why it's so complicated to play this? Here is no CD player, so I need to sing, and that's one of the most complicated suites, 996, E minor, to play with guitar, and often we need to find some resolutions with fingering, not to play all voices, to choose a tempo in giga when the terces go. And now let's look at lutists, because at that time lute was, traditional lute had 13 strings. In 20th century, lutists take one string more, 14 strings, but traditional German lute is 13 strings. And lutists, Paul Odette and Hopkinson Schmidt, and they always have problem also, not only guitarists, how to play lute suites with lute. Yeah, I can give you, because no CD player, it's one of the best recordings, and here is you can see the name Piece pour la Lute of Monsieur Sauster. It's a 995 and partita E minor, E major, and how the resolution of that problem, because the lute had 13 strings, and suite 995 in original is G or Sol minor, and but lute don't have the bass string G or Sol, and nowadays the lutist also plays that suite in A minor, La minor. So, and also partita, this is 996A. They also play in tonality F major, not in original tonality. And one idea was that partita 996, which is original one, is a violin partita, and that Bach composed that for chromatic harp, which is was new instrument at that time, the first half or later first half of 17th century, sorry, 18th century, yeah, 18th century, and maybe the tonality that like Mi major, really very suitable for harp, this new harp, that maybe it was written for harp, not for lute. That's to this over review of how to find which tonality and sometimes most important is what edition, I'm talking later editions, what edition to find, in which tonality, and there is also possibility to use scordatura, yeah, or retuning of the, not only basses, but very often, for example, lute suites, scordatura could be that the third string is F sharp, Fa sharp, and the second string is like it is in B in jazz music or Hush in classical music, and the first string is D. There is some editions in nowadays, I think Eötvös, Hungarian, Joseph Eötvös, and where the first string just turned, because that scordatura, that possibility give to play like on the lute, Baroque lute tuning is the D minor, and if we turn F sharp, B, and D, then the first three strings are principal. We can compare. It's like lute tuning. So, and in some edition, don't please surprised if you can see that interesting scordatura, which is often, not often, but sometimes in editions. Let's go now, please. The theme, which publication, and I collected mostly 30 or more editions of Bach lute works, what I can get. All my friends all over the world help me. I ask, please help me, send me version, your or version from Argentina, or a version for USA or Germany. And thank you for that, really. Before I wrote my dissertation in 2012, I worked really hardly, maybe 10 years, to look and compare different dissertations. And we can mention that the first edition, which was which used by Segovi and at that time, and Emilio Pujol. Yeah, we can say he was Catalan, this student of Francesco Tarrega, so we need to say Pujol, not Pujol. Maximilian, Argentinian guitarist, is Pujol, but this Emilio could be pronunciation Pujol. And the first edition was by Hans Dagobert Brugger, which composed for a very interesting instrument which is called Lute Bastardo in 1921. It's like false lute, false. It was a principle, no, like lute, yeah, like egg, a cotton egg, but principle, the tuning and the neck from guitar. It's a quite interesting instrument. And Andrés Segovia, it was first edition was 1921, and when Segovia gets the edition, said, "Oh, I'm like in paradise." I discovered that edition by Hans Brugger, and I have a really very fantastic repertoire, and he started to play Bach lute works often. And we can say that this Lute Bastardo had 10 strings, so, and it was turned like guitar, and the basis, Bourdon basis after guitar tuning gives a D, Re, C, Do, B, B1, and this C, and A1. So it was very interesting. Guitar tuning, lute, egg, and called Lute Bastardo. And what was in this edition, I had that, and also this is you can get digitally in internet. That if you put name, this Brugger, Hans Brugger, second edition was I think 1925, yeah. And what was interesting at first, it for example Prelude, Fugue, Allegro 998. Prelude was how it was. Original tonality, of course, Mi flat, but Prelude was in C major, Fugue was D major, if I'm right. Maybe I don't remember good. So Prelude, Fugue, and Allegro had different tonalities at that edition. And the other ones, there is many mistakes or misprints, mistakes, which stay in next editions. In the first half of 20th century, Stingel, Wensiewski, Taucher, and we can see that the same mistakes was in Brugger edition. Is copied to next editions. I don't talk editions after Taucher, after this second half, but mostly that edition, Stingel, and they had the same mistakes what we can see in Brugger edition. And also, if you know the guitarists Jose Aspiazu and also in this edition are mistakes. And also Karl Scheidt, a very famous guitar professor in Vienna, Hochschule für Kunst. Also Karl Scheidt editions are quite a lot of that mistakes. So avoid this edition, and now we're looking editions second half of 20th century, what we can trust. This at first we can mention Rosalind Turek and Sharon Isbin. Sharon Isbin is a guitar professor in New York, in Juilliard. Yeah, recorded lot of recordings, also Tandun guitar concerto, half an hour, 4 movements, and it's one of the greatest American guitarists. And he made collaboration with German cembalo professor Rosalind Turek. One suite 996 and Partita 997 from this collaboration are at first very good text, second a very good ornamentation, really in rules by ornamented Bach on cembalo, and the third one no mistakes. At first, this edition I can suggest. And the one of the best editions or principle also you can find in internet in pirate copy. It's Frank Kunze. This Frank Kunze edition is many students, for example, also in Sibelius Academy in Stockholm, in Tallinn, using just this Kunze edition, which is perfect, which is no mistakes, which is very good critical commentaries in the beginning of edition, some 10 pages, maybe commentaries. Then from Italians is Italian guitar professor who made a lot of for Italian guitar culture, not only Italy but also in Europe, is Ruggero Chiesa, church, Chiesa, in Italian word. And he organized, he had some problem with to play guitar, some insurances, and then he started to edit the music, Soul, Carulli, Carcassi. The name of Ruggero Chiesa is one of the, and editions Suivini Zerboni is a very important edition who printed many notes, classical music, and also this Ruggero Chiesa reduction of the Bach Lute works you can trust. It's so late as 1991, so somewhere 300 later than Puger edition, so Ruggero Chiesa. And the last name, please give Mark who now Tilman Hofstock Prim edition and works, and 1, 2, yes, 3, students know name Tilman Hofstock. Is one of the greatest specialists of Bach music in the world, not only in Europe. And this Prim edition I gave the best books of analyzing. At first book was 995 and 996 suites. That's book. And the second one 997, and now release the book The Fugues of Johann Sebastian Bach. Also, and continuously he working with his team and had his PhD maybe 5-6 years ago on this team, that it's one of the best specialists, and I had luck also when I made my dissertation about Bach Lute works, and then Tilman Hofstock was one of the supervisors to that. So editions, yes. And in the other editions here, what we can trust now, it's editions in 21st century. And maybe you know some names. At first it's a clean score or clean, no fingering in Rudolf Putman. It's quite expensive book, the note, but no fingering. That if you students like to get clean copy, not to trust nobody. No Tilman Hofstock, no Ruggero Chiesa, no Heiki Mätlik. then you can buy this Rudolf Putman. I don't know edition, but just if you put the name, you can find. And then, of course, interesting is Frederick Zigante edition. Zigante is one of the important editors in Suivini Zerboni, and also he made editions from Villa-Lobos etudes, Villa-Lobos preludes, and some other music. Frederick Zigante. Is a mistake, not Zignate. Zigante should be. Zigante. Then József Eötvös, Hungarian scientist, musicologist, and guitarist. And in Etvesh edition are interesting that, for example, fugues on 2 or 3 note class systems, and you can see separately how the fugues voices are moving. It's quite interesting. And also Joseph Etvesh have very good book how to play Bach. It's a small one, that's book, but many practical suggestions how to play Bach suites and partitas, and so Joseph Etvesh, how to play Bach. It's quite important. And the last one is Gerhard Reichenbach, professor in N.Koshelev. Yeah. Yesterday we talked, and your professors and some students now, who is Gerhard Reichenbach, one of the best Bach specialists. And he lived many years in Greece. He married with Greece wife, and that's a reason why he lived in Greece, in Thessaloniki. And now he moved some 10 years ago back to Germany, to Wuppertal. He teaches in Wuppertal. One of my students studied with Gerhard Reichenbach, and he played often in Estonia. For example, one interesting concert was when Reichenbach played 2 guitar concertos in one concert. One is, of course, Aranjuez by Rodrigo, and the other one, concerto by Hans Werner Henze, which is very modern music and many instruments, the bass flute, and in one concert 2 guitar concertos. And in Aranjuez he broke the nail. I saw that something white is flying to hole. It was nailed just in the Razgovatos. So, and Reichenbach's edition was printed in Bulgaria. Such edition like Balkanota. I think this edition is existed nowadays, and maybe you can buy this Bach Ludwig's edition Balkanota, edited by Gerhard Reichenbach. That's for edition what helps you a lot of, and that 20 euros or 30 euros to find and to buy, that it helps you full life, I think, on the stage. Also, to mention that in the Etvesh and Reichenbach edition are scordatura, that third string is F sharp. Yeah. So before that, when you start to play Bach editions with F sharp, of course, try to play some Renaissance music by Doland, and to learn it's nowadays basic technique that guitarist or student can play vihuela music, or Luis Milan, Alonso Mudarra, and some other with third string F sharp. It should be in your studies. And also in Gunze, Zigante, Etvesh, and Reichenbach version are many Ossia versions, which is, for example, in Reichenbach editions are Prelude, Fugue, and Allegro in D major, in Re major, and also in Mi flat major. So in one edition, in one note, are choice to do different tonalities. That's briefly from editions, really briefly. And if somebody cannot find or ask some suit, please write me. I try to help you with some score. Now we're looking a little bit researches. As I mentioned, one of the most important is this Norwegian musicologist Per Ketil Farstad, a German Kaland music. This book, which is printed 2000 in Göteborg. Then also quite a lot of information in Charles Nelson Amos in this dissertation. I don't know, can you find in internet, but sometime in USA universities, if you go to that, is a list of dissertations what you can buy in internet. So many of them is nowadays just a few euros, and you can buy this dissertation. And I also mentioned in the beginning of James Pogler, the Bach suites. It's transcriptions and performing. So many dissertations just looking at how to perform that suite, and just as mentioned, is written for Lautenberg, that it's very complicated to play with 6-string guitar, so or even 8-string guitar or 10-string decachord. So, so dissertation is special, looking how is a resolution of problems. So you are looking here, comparing Baroque lute and classical guitar, and here's some important comparing details, and it's not too easy to find information. Only some books, Amos, Farstad, give detailed information about how to play lute music, which technique, what is the color, and how to play the basses, or to damp or to stop the basses. And also to compare the colors of the guitar and lute. And nowadays we have some guitarists who using multi-string basses on the guitar, which help to play guitar on the guitar. And also question is how long to keep the voices. It's with help of fingering or performing the bass line. At how long it's, for example, 100 questions and answer by Shannon Ispin brochure. It's just talking about that, how long to keep the basses in Bach music. And what is helps also sustain in nowadays to play polyphonical music is that Nomex sandwich guitar type guitars. Guitar maker from Lithuania, Mark Zucker, will come here. I don't know, he will bring sandwich guitar or only sandwich, only sandwich. But it's helped so much if you really not think about exam, but if you think in future to make some recordings to put in YouTube and to get some concerts with Bach music or another Sylvius Leopold Weiss or John Dolan music. No principle to play lute music if you choose lute music, not modern music or romantical music, romantical guitar. And what sandwich guitar will give you? Yesterday I demonstrate here. I cannot move too much, but just facts. What I compare in studio, and why I choose guitar with Nomex. It's a duo decks, and after the first deck, second deck under that take vibration, and the sound is much longer, sustain is much longer, and if you play, for example, fugue, the voices stay for a long time. And I made really good experience compare in studio, just took resonance, how long this in studio, and machines registered my guitar, this Per Hallgren guitar model double top or sandwich double top guitar, and how long is sustained with first string. It's somewhere 8 seconds. Yesterday I played it. Later I can show you, maybe also now with the microphone. So, and such guitars, if you compare as a normal guitar with one top, mostly guitar makers from Spain, Granada, or Madrid, Ramirez, Bellido, and some other Contreras, then not that sound effect here. And if we are looking at the basses, it could be really result much better than with normal top guitar, and it could be a sound somewhere 13 seconds or more. So you get the bass line or Bourdon basses. It's like in also like in lute, Baroque lute, I mean, or Chitarron or Theorba. And also when you are chamber music players and early music, you are choosing that road to play basso continuo, then the sustain of the basses when you play basso continuo with the guitar, it's very important. Then we compare also other one that I've in my and here is the tension of the strings, and it's amazing who we are looking the strings, time meter, tension, tuning. You can see the differences. That's the tension between lute string and the guitar string. Guitar strings are more hardly twice, and it's an important fact because from that start everything, of course. Articulation, how to play more staccato or non-legato or more legato, or we call yesterday also détaché. And then other one, producing the sound to play lute music where many players in the different guitar conservatories and so, and also play only on rosette or sound hole. But if we play lute music, the polyphony should be very clear in fugues, and in every polyphony, so that we can listen every voice, and we can also take louder some voices and some voices not so loud. It's quite important, and just the tension of the string, it's at that moment is very important where to play. And as you can see, the trajectory to play here is on guitar the possibilities sul tasto, sul ponticello, or near the bridge, or metallico, and tastiera, it's a guitar neck. It's many choices at that moment when we play not only Bach music but also Baroque music or or even Renaissance music. But mostly in Baroque music, it's quite important influence to find the place where we play. And the best is in nowadays to record your playing at home or and to listen at how it sounds. That's the way that moment in nowadays technical possibilities much. And in Bach music, to play Bach music, it's much clear polyphony if to play 1/10 or 1/15 from the string part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 parts, and then we play somewhere here, thumb near the rosette and fingers out of rosette. It's mostly in fast dances, Italian courants, gigas, in French gigas also. It's quite important where to find that. So the place where we're using, and then different also sound effects. One of the sound effects which is we called campanella. Here's one passage from 996. In many editions we can see that it's just one way to play to find fingering that choose. If we play La Sol, A, G, F, then these two sounds stay, little bit sound, then F and B, Mi and Fa. Also we can find small second between, and also you can see that here even 3 sounds with all fingers stay, 1 and 3, so in one time sound Mi, Re, Do, and also understandable. Yeah. No. Oh, you want to play? Yes, I can't move, so. Yes. Yes. Yeah, also C and La. And also C and La should be sound. Yes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And principle, it's a sound effect what we can do in Lautenwerk, in Lute cembalo. And 996 and 997 and even in partita 2006A, we can use this fingering and we will get the sound effect of lute cembalo that way. It's quite important. The next one is interesting. It's about sound effects. Style brisé, French style. Yeah, it's this prelude. It's typical French style lute, lute playing style, or pariolage technique, where the higher note is on third string and the first string is opened. Then the next interesting aspect is to compare luting and guitar. If we are looking, then Baroque lute tuning is in what tonality and how tuned? In terces. It's like Russian guitar, 7-string guitar, G major. Here's a D minor, it's as you can see. And have you seen the lute players? They are not like guitarists play Bach that way. But lute players mostly have 2, maximum 3 positions and can play everything that way. It's a very big difference when the trajectory of guitarists are that way, the jump, and you lost the phrase, you broke the phrase, you broke the motifs, then lute players play very easy. I have seen many lute concertos, Jakob Lindberg and Hopkinson Schmidt, and they are doing nothing here in left hand. It will come from this tuning aspects. And guitar, as you can see. The biggest difference was compromised only with good fingering. So that's important, this edition, Edwidge, Reichenbach, Kunze, and which help you resist that problems. And here is also you can see style brisé, and fingering, how you are using style brisé. Style brisé means that the wind is coming from ocean and blew, and everything start to sound. It's in style brisé. And you can see also here many arpeggios, for example here. Also like a harmony. Also here is the possibility to leave harmony, A7, yeah. Also D minor harmony. Also G major harmony, Sol major, yeah. So this finger, to leave the finger, we could, like on piano, we are doing with pedalization, yeah. Guitarists can do in Bach music and in lute music the same, with fingering, that we leave harmony to sound. Yeah, it's quite important. And also some places where there is a possibility to leave the seconds or some dissonances here. Yeah, we keep the G, then we play C, La, and also Sol that way. So fingering is extremely important to play Bach music. And then we are looking also how many this basses on Baroque lute typical. It's a 13-string lute and the basses, and we need to find the way how with guitar to release that problem that we don't have this bass register here, the last one. And what compromises? Compromises, of course, bass is octave higher. Then we talk fingering, and sometimes also to choose a tonality to make scordatura in basses. It's and then what we talk also yesterday in master classes, who played here not even Bach music, but also Latin American music, Agustin Barrias, and very big good compromise is to play bass line shorter. We don't listen yesterday, then it's like on the piano. Left hand play more non-legato, right hand play very legato. And the same with guitar. We can leave the bass shorter, the fingers stand up, and we give attention to melodical line, which sound very very singing. That Bach in Inventions introduction said, I would like that my music will be played very cantabile. In Invention, he says that. Yeah. So that's thematics, in principle, sound producing, articulation, and so. And also important is how which way we produce the sound. And that's a typical guitarist's nail and hand, and we are using more to play Baroque music, not traditional, this touching here, which is flesh plus nail, but in fast movements, gigas, fast courants, even fast allemans, prestos in violin, sonatas, partitas. More nail technique, that's important. So for Baroque music is is more important is to use nail technique and to use ramp method. And if here is a graphical comparing, if we strike with nail and flesh, like traditional Italian music, Giuliani, romantical music, Spanish, French style, Fernando Sor. So the sound will be that like the ball or pick. If I play only with nail, like we talk, prestos, gigas, then the sound is louder, start very loud, and go away very fast. But what we need, we can play much faster in tempo. And so it's producing the nail and flesh. It's quite important, not only in Bach music, but also in Baroque music. So once again, please make recordings, try to play how fast you can play mid recording and which technique. Just the other one is which is called media apoyando or semi-auto apoyando, and it means that we just I had a question in WhatsApp from N.Koshelev once a year ago, also asked me to use apoyando in Baroque music or not. And also somebody, I remember article asked from Leo Brouwer, should I use apoyando technique in Baroque music? And Brouwer answered, and some other guitarists said no. But principle could be that we are using apoyando, but it's not full apoyando like in Spanish technique, arcas, tarrega, Lute, and Pujol. But we are using apoyando, that the finger after touching the string immediately flying away. That we call media apoyando or half apoyando. Try to find possibility to develop that media apoyando technique, and you get bigger sound, more clear sound, but also better technique. Yeah, and now some interesting things what we can see. We can say what from lute technique. If I am looking lute techniques, and lutists also using apoyando technique, we can say in modern way. So because the lute technique is mostly finger is touching the lute deck, and the finger is plucking the string and plucking and stay for a moment for neighbor string. It's very typical in vihuela and lute technique. And also possibility to play with one finger over two strings, if you can see here. Yeah, you can see in lute technique. In lute, it's mean first finger, high finger. Yeah, and you can see in tablature that first finger is matched at that note, D, Re, and then that note, first finger, E. The next one is M finger. The next one, once again, you can see that here, one finger, first finger, first finger. That's we said apoyando over the two strings. It was common in using in also in lute technique. So don't avoid that. The next one could be this metrical hierarchy, what we see. And in nowadays, many technique theoretics talking about fingers. First finger is a very fast. Second finger is a very powerful. Third finger is a very lazy. Principle, characters, fast, powerful, lazy. And the reason is because the thumb and the first finger are in one channel which called flexor superficialis in Latin. Yeah, here. You can try, move what you feel. You feel here, yes? Yes. And that three fingers are another muscles in profundus muscle, which is here, move this. You feel flexor here. And and also in lute technique, in they are talking that play important notes or theme with strong finger, which is M finger, or even with A finger. And here you can see this strong, D, I, M, and so strong, 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 and we are using, to get out the voice, we are using strong finger, which is M finger. It was from lute books theory or introduction said that please use strong finger more than and the next one is using left hand fingers. We called it the dancing of the fingers. So if you are doing staccato, it's not necessary all staccatos to play only right hand fingers. So left hand fingers, which is go up, but don't leave the string, stay in touching, is the sound is cutted, but sound is very note is very short, sound is very short. So using left hand fingers dancing, many guitarists in master classes also were talking that we need to do in French le ballet of dance of the fingers. So work with that technique, that your also articulation, short articulation can do with left hand. That's important. We can call that it's a left hand staccato, or even sometime in left hand we can do legato with staccato. The second note is shorter, tira, and left hand stop the note after two notes legato. Yeah. Some style ideas. Principle in Baroque music articulation, or we talk Baroque music and Bach articulation, we see the note and sometimes we play as the note is written that way. But in Baroque articulation, Baroque violinists and flutists and they know that idea that if we see the note, we play it, they play it shorter. And sometimes, if, for example, in saraband, when the second note is accented, ding, pa, di, dum, pa, handle saraband, yeah? Then just it's written, but the violinist or guitarist or lutist plays much shorter. Di, pa, pa, ba, pa. It's basic ideas in articulation of the different dances, and you need to maybe read a little bit about also different styles. Or you play in Italian style, or you play in French style. That mostly Bach composed in different style. For example, saraband of 995 in Italian style, but saraband 99, but giga in 995 are in French style. So get some information about French style and Italian style. It's the style question, and you need to choose articulation, which style is composed that music. Also, one of these is the two-note legato slurs. Here you can see is written di-ra, da-ra, da-ri, di-ra, but in it's from organ style. The Baroque lute players also are using that. They don't play di-ra, da-ra, but they di-ra, da-ra, di-ra, da-ra. And also that's quite important articulation at that time to use in two notes legato. That articulation tradition principle, if you read violin theory or violin book of Leopold Mozart, father of Wolfgang Amadeus, or flute school of Adalbert Quantz, also are talking different articulation, how to play that. second one, you know, the piece, yeah, it's it's a very famous Jethro Tull, yeah, play flutist Anderson that way, yeah. Here is the principes how articulate the bass line and how articulate the melody line. And as you can see in melody line, we are using motive legato, but bass line is staccatated. Of course, you need to stop the basses. The question is not to stop the bass, which is put down with finger, but also free string. The principle that to play Baroque music or Bach music always for every instrumentalist is that one. So quickly. Other one is unequal notes. Yeah, if we see that we play in some places, we see notes or eighths, mostly eighths in courants, the beginning of courants, or 995 or so. We see di da da di 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 da, but in French style we play di da 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 di da 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 da. It's one of the important elements. It's nowadays in jazz also, or swing we play. Yeah, we see that it's written di da da di da da da, but unequal notes. So we play di da da di da dum da dum pa dum pa dum pa dum pa. Maybe you need just to read literature about this Baroque style, not swing and jazz, but also in Baroque style. It's in French style. It was very common. Now we go to ornaments. Ornamentation is most important in Baroque music. And if you don't ornament, if you repeat, if you don't make ornaments in first time, then and repeating, you can do ornaments much more than. And here is a tab from Wolfgang Friedrich Bach, ornaments, and special. I made here some copies. Maybe who is faster, give to every row one copy. It's Kohlberg variation, and here is some important ornaments, which is trillo or pral trill, then mordent, often in Bach music, then gruppetto, which is in cembalo music is just with ornament mark, in French ornament mark. But in, mostly in lute works, there is written out. It's called also in French coulet. Many fast notes. And also sometime in lute music we can see, and Baroque guitar music we can see just this mark before the note or after the note. So you can see, yes, this appoggiatura before the minor note or after the minor note. And you have these notes, and you can see Goldberg variation where there's a lot of ornamentation marks. So that is very common, mordent and pral often. And the other one is gruppettos, and then Lombardia Manera, which is, you know, the Vivaldi concerto. Yeah, it's just this against basic note is the fast notes before and the basic notes later. It's called Lombardia Manera, which is in music on Hungary, and you can listen Bela Bartok music It's Lombardia Manera. And nowadays, many guitarists start to play not, we call it in English, hammer and pull off, that's traditional, but also are using cross-string ornamentations. It's if you play music, not Bach, of course, and also Scarlatti, sonatas, and some other Baroque music, then this cross-string ornamentation year by year start more and more popular. That idea. And years ago, I think it was free in internet, in David Russell homepage somewhere. And Czech also is interesting right-hand fingering too. Principle always sometimes to finish cross-string ornamentation with P or with strong finger, M finger. It's quite common, yes, ornamentation. And it's Stanley Yates, very famous musicologist. Yes?
Tas, ko jūs iepriekš redzējāt, tas ir Juļus piedāvātais divstīgu trilleri moteņi, ja? Atpazinām visi, ja? Tas AIF, ja? Vienkārši tie savu, zini, tie to principu, ja kāds nezinu, jūs sakontatēs, tas ir precīzi, tas David Russell.
No, principle, I leave this PowerPoint material here, so you can, or over the Latvia, to at least. And, only 1 cent. And I'm using that ornaments, not too long, but in trills, proud trill, in long trill, and mordent, when I recorded Bach Lute waves. So that is a one way. And I remember a very interesting fact about how the students can get information that in YouTube is a video of David Russell when he played Bach Chaconne. And some Spanish student just looked this and copied all David Russell fingering in notes, just looking and put left hand or right hand. It took some days maybe, but it's one possibility to get the information. So. And now, which they called in lute technique, often we can see it's Akkordstreifen technique. Often in German lute, lute playing techniques are common that technique. And this Amos dissertation is a lot of talking about that technique, what you can use on guitar. Yesterday somebody played Sarabande 997 A minor, yeah? And look, there is possibility to start the first accord with M finger, we called apoyando over the street strings. It's very loud. And it's a lute technique, but we can use nowadays on guitar, on the guitar. So Akkordstreifen. And please look also that how to play that. We play with P, with Pulgar we play bass, and M finger play over the three strings. Yeah, it's a work extremely loud sound that way. It's a very special technique, Streifen technique on lute. You can see that, not to talking P, I play two lowest strings, basses, and F finger over the four strings. also very common, not very common, but we can see in Baroque, in German Baroque lute players technique that. Or here you can see that it's also in flamenco often that we play apoyando with 2 strings or 3 strings. And against that, P plays 3 strings. It's often try if you take one accord at home. How loud is it produce simple, but how loud is to play with that technique. So it's right-hand technical possibilities. And like in cembalo, also arpeggio technique is important if we play only accords. So we can arpeggiate in different ways to play with fingers or to play A finger down and then P, E, M, A, and also it's also often lutists improvise arpeggio on accords or on final accords. It's very common in lute technique. And coda and fine. Yeah, there is information about very important books. Maybe what you can read, or we have that books mostly in our library. But just write that name and you can find in the internet. It's important Bach rhythmic and tempo to understand that book. I leave the material here. Yes. Then other one is important articles and he wrote, and also it's a book, very important book that was an analysis of lute works, cello suites, and violin partitas and suites. It's a David Ledbetter, that's a book which help you really very much in your Bach interpretation. And accompaniment Bach, it's very new, I think Yale University of this academic book, so 2009, yeah. And then articles at formal time we find in European Guitar Teachers Association homepage. There is many articles, but not anymore free. Maybe also somebody ask small money, a few cups of coffee and cake for that. It's a important information. You can find this Jonathan Lethrow's article. And the last one, yes, somebody will write. It's okay. I changed, yeah. Yes. And the last one is as I talk in the beginning of lecture. One of the most important Bach specialists and scientists, musicologists and players, Tilman Hofstock and his Prim Musikverlag, which in Darmstadt, the Bach lute works, or talking, it's help you. And the last information is that now Tilman Hofstock also edited John Doland lute works. It's also important. So that's all. Please, do you have shortly some questions?
When we play Bach, what do you think about ornamentation how brave we can be to do ornamentation by ourselves.
Absolutely.
Is it a teacher? Is it child?
No, absolutely. Ornamentation was at that time one of the most important parts, and when you play minuet in first time, you could play as it written without ornaments. But if you play second time, then you need it's really you need to put your ornamentation ideas, some trills, some extra notes, and diminuto called in Italian style, but also French style ornaments, all trills, grubbettos, and different. It's obviously part of ornamentation to improvise the ornamentation. That everybody, of course, maybe you need some time to think or work out, or you are doing that on the stage suddenly. Oh, I'm doing here trill, I'm doing here mordent.
Or maybe that was just accident.
Or accident, yes. Some other?
Yeah, I have a question about the orchestration technique that you mentioned during the presentation. The first question I have is, it gets played with the finger from the first string or from the lowest string that you play?
No principle from up to down. The first string, yeah, principle is work. It's like also in flamenco, in Brazilian music and Argentinian tango music. Often.
And then my second question is, can you use it in any Baroque piece, or is it meant for the slow pieces like Sarabande that you showed, for example?
Yes.
Any piece?
Yeah. Yes. Any piece. Yeah. Because it's not 20th or 21st century idea. It was Lute technique, Thomas Mack and some other lutists, Baroque lutists, I mean, but they're using that technique.
Yes, about Bach lutes, are they still somewhere in our world? Or
I don't know that. Yeah,
but,
in museums, yeah.
There are evidences of that they existed before.
Yes, because as I said, after Bach dead, they made list of instruments, instrumentarium of Bach, cembalos, flutes, violins, and maybe to auction to sell everything.
And these lutes, Bach lutes, you can buy in eBay. They're doing in China.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, like romantical guitars, you can find now in La Côte and some other loterias in Paris, in museums, and to where I saw in Venice. Yeah, in Venice for one fantastic museum shop where the old instrument, different old instruments. So just looking Italy, France, Paris, and the old instruments existed. And also in Tallinn we have Theatre and Music Museum, and where the Estonian guitar builders in the beginning of 20th century built 7-string guitars. At that time, 7-string guitars was popular in Estonia because Estonia was part of Russia, and still they have museum 7-string guitar. And my old uncle also built guitar and played guitar. That's the reason. My old uncle, my grandmother. So that's the reason why I started to play guitar also. Oh, it's at 12 o'clock. Thank you for attention. Yeah.